everyone, good afternoon. Me and Dias are your hosts, and today we have the pleasure of having with us the Portuguese team of the Erasmus Plus project. They've come here today to talk a little bit about information literacy and their work in the digital literacy in Six Steps project. So, without further delay, let's get started with Simon. Welcome. Why don't you tell us a bit more about information literacy? Clue us in what it is and why it matters.
Hi, thank you so much for having us. So, information literacy is not quite so easy to define. It is not so much a concept, but a set of skills which allow us to recognize when information is needed, how to find quality information, and how to use it effectively. Once you're equipped with these skills, you gain valuable tools for life.
That sounds like a big deal. And how can you learn these skills? Do you need a course you learn at school over some classes, or can anyone learn it at home? Solmay, would you kindly fill us in?
Yes, of course. So, as my colleague was saying, it is a crucial skill to have nowadays. These are portable skills which anyone can benefit from, and there are plenty of online resources to get started. We think that information literacy should be included in every school subject. In Portugal, we have some support from the libraries in educating us and spreading awareness about this topic. And as we usually say, just being aware of it, it's a great start.
I will agree to that. You know, I've been hearing more and more about digital literacy and digital skills over the past few years. Can you help us clarify the difference between digital literacy and information literacy? I know a lot of people might think they are the same. Anna, could you help us out?
Of course, information literacy is a bit more focused on the ability to read and digest information critically. It's about learning to navigate the information overload that we live in nowadays, extract meaningful information, and use it in an ethical, responsible way. Meanwhile, digital literacy is a skill set which involves the correct and effective use of digital technologies. The reason why one isn't strictly part of the other is because information it's not only digital.
Oh, of course. How could we forget about books?
Yes, and although we know a lot of information is still offline, we know that most of the information flow nowadays goes through the internet, and as such, there's an acute need for digital literacy when acquiring information literacy skills.
That sounds right with all the information out there. Nowadays, it seems more and more important to ensure that our information is reliable with so much misinformation, fake news. How does information literacy account for that? How do you filter out bad info? Gonçalo, would you care to give us a hand on that?
Yeah, it's quite complicated these days to find trustworthy information out there. Thankfully, there has been a lot of investigation into how we can search and find information effectively. One such project resulted in the creation of a set of guidelines to evaluate internet sources, the GREB test.
Would you care to summarize it for us, Roberto?
Of course, essentially, it is connected with finding information that is current, relevant, authoritative, accurate, and purposeful. I know that sounds very complicated, but it can be extremely helpful when you need that information to be reliable. By performing these 5 checks, you can get a lot of good info. It's not foolproof because there's quite a bit of gray space that's unaccounted for, like social media, for example.
That's good. I like to hear that there's been some improvement in this area. Well, our time is almost up, so I just wanted to discuss one more thing before you leave, and that is intellectual property and copyright. Does information literacy provide us tools to use other people's intellectual work? Leticia, if you could explain this to us?
Yes, of course. Nowadays, in the world of content creators and authors, it is our obligation to be as original as possible. However, it doesn't mean that we can use other people's ideas. It just means that we must be careful and respectful when doing it. Information literacy gives us tools and knowledge to do things like quotes, summaries, paraphrases, and citations. In Portugal, we use mostly the APA style, but there are others.
That is exactly what the world needs right now. In this time of so much information, but also of the same amount of misinformation, we'd like to thank all of you very much for having shared with us so much relevant information. That is all the time we have today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.